Hi, I'm Sam Masich and welcome to my Internal Arts Library. I want to speak to you today a little bit about my relationship with Master Jou Tsung-Hwa, who I met at the first USA All Taiji Chuan Championships where I was a competitor. Master Jou and I had an immediate rapport and began a conversation that would last until his tragic death 10 years later. Master Jou was born in 1917. He passed away in 1998. He lived a full and amazing life. He carried the spirit of the art in everything I ever saw him do. I went several times to the Taiji farm in Warwick, New York to participate in the annual Changsan Feng Festival. When I was there, Master Jou always treated me in a very special way. While the others were camping in tents, my teacher, Dr. Yang Jingming, and I were able to stay in Master Jou's little house. And the two of them, Master Jou and Master Yang, taught me how to do the ceremony. The ceremony was intended to welcome the spirit of Changsan Feng, the mythical founder of Taiji Chuan, and allow him to see the progress that we had all made that year. So the ceremony involved welcoming the spirit and then at the end releasing the spirit after we had all shown and demonstrated our progress. It was a wonderful time in my life, and Master Jou has a big place in my heart always because of this time. I would see Master Jou usually a couple times a year at the US All Taiji Chuan Championships and the Taste of China event where he was an instructor, and also at the Changsan Feng Festival. He would always just come up to me as soon as he saw me, take me by the arm off to a corner, and he would start instructing me on practical and theoretical aspects of Taiji. I think he took a special liking to me maybe, or felt that I had potential because I had done well in the tournaments and competitions. He felt that there was an opportunity to coach me and help me along my way so that in the future I would be a better Taiji master. He was always encouraging me, like he did with everybody, to break through. He always talked about the breakthrough, the idea that we've made our progress up to now, but always we're looking to break through to the next level. If there was one word to describe Master Jou, for me it would be breakthrough. Master Jou, of course, was a very scholarly person. He was responsible for the development of almost all university mathematics textbooks in Taiwan before he emigrated to the United States. My teacher, Dr. Yang Jingming, was so excited to meet him when he met Master Jou for the first time, because he said, that's the author of the textbooks that I studied with when I was going to university. I have his books up here, the Tao of Taiji Chuan, the Tao of the I Ching, and the Tao of Meditation. This is a lovely photo of Master Jou. He inspired me tremendously with his literary mind and his scientific mind, his mathematical mind. A lot of what I learned from Master Jou has found its way into my own book, Foundations of Traditional Taiji Chuan. He's a big part of my inner life in terms of studying and approaching the traditional classic teachings of Taiji Chuan. Sometimes people thought Master Jou was only an intellectual Taiji player, but it's not true. He had a really great push hand skills. At that time when I knew him, I was a kind of a push hands champion. So I got to push hands with him many times. He is to this day the only Taiji person that in pushing hands has uprooted me and caused my head to hit a door sill. He uprooted me, and there was a doorway right there, and boom, I whacked my head. So very good uprooting skill. Master Jou had really great sensitivity, also called tingjing, listening energy, and he could identify and hear every little crack or break in my structure. In 2002, I was able to go back to Warwick after his passing. The memorial is a beautiful and somber place. It's really a place of reflection and just being there, recognizing in the little ting or pagoda the great love that people had for him, the great care and detail in putting together this memorial. It just reminded me of him and the way he interacted with people. I think this was part of the Tingjing. He could sense in very quickly with people, and he understood what they wanted and what they needed. And I would say to this day, every person that had a relationship with him feels that the relationship with him was special. And it was special. Master Jou was the epitome of the Taoist sage, the one that's found in the Tao Te Ching or the Chuang-Tzu, the master that can be whatever is needed in the situation. If you had a relationship with Master Jou, you can be sure that he was touching in, he was connecting, and he was supporting you in terms of what you most needed, where you were going. He could perceive that, and he was right there to support it. He was an extraordinary human being in this way, very, very sensitive. At the same time, Master Jou was, in another way, kind of a little checked out. He had so many things going on in his mind at one time. You know, a true mathematician. He was positing new theories. Every moment there was new things, new ideas unfolding. And for me, this was a real inspiration. It's something that I could relate to, and he was, for me, in that sense, also a role model. There's so many ways to approach this work, and he wasn't prejudiced. He didn't feel that, oh, I've learned this way, so you have to learn that way too. He was really open-ended in terms of his way of connecting with people in their Tai Chi and encouraging them. He had this idea with the farm, the Taiji farm, that it would eventually become a college that had regular academic courses, but also a special focus on Chinese studies, history, and with a focus on physical culture, a kind of embodied philosophical approach to Chinese culture centered around Taiji Chuan. That never materialized, but I do feel that we who are out in the world and teaching and sharing our knowledge and experience that have been touched by Master Jou, we're sort of a living embodiment of that college that he had in mind all those years ago. Master Jou was kind of a gentlemanly rogue as well. He had a playful, mischievous side that expressed itself in a lot of different ways. And he was not above schooling famous masters on their views on Tai Chi. I saw him corner really famous masters and school them on what they should be doing differently in their Tai Chi. His belief that Tai Chi had to be done in a principled way. He always said, Tai Chi is the teacher. Taiji Chuan itself is your teacher. And that's always meant a lot to me. I've studied with wonderful, fantastic masters. I've been digging into this for well over 40 years now, but I always remember what Master Jou said. Taiji Chuan is the teacher, and you want to make a little progress every year, and you're always looking for that breakthrough. One year, way back when, I was at the Tai Chi farm visiting Master Jou. It wasn't with the Changsan Feng Festival. He had come to spend some time with myself, my dear friends, Susanna de Rosa and Dr. Jay Dunbar, who are really true students of Master Jou and have been carrying on his work directly, faithfully for decades. And the three of us were there, and we were practicing Tai Chi and pushing hands, and I was learning about the I Ching from Jay, who helped Master Jou write his book on the I Ching. And Master Jou came to spend some time with us. One of the things that he did during that time was he made this wonderful calligraphy for me. He told me it was the first time he'd ever made a calligraphy for somebody, so it feels very special. And what it says is that the moon's reflection is in the 10,000 ponds and rivers, but there's only one real moon. And I think that was a good summary of how he felt about Tai Chi. There's many, many variations, many styles, many approaches, but Really, Taiji is one thing in its core essence. Master Jou was this combination of curiosity and conviction, and I think that example has affected me a lot over the years. I'm always exploring, always digging in deeper, and standing by my convictions and trying to live by them as well. It was a great privilege to know and communicate with and be inspired by Master Jou, and it's a privilege to be able to share these memories with you here today.